All right. Good morning, everybody. We're back for some fun flying, high flying, all-time high riding, CPI data having, trading fun. As always, fueling up with some day trading coffee company. Freshly brewed caffeine. I am not convinced at this pump. We'll see what happens with it. Overnight range was pretty tight overall from the open, from 1700 on. I used this as the opening range here, the blue line to the yellow line. The white line is obviously all-time high / CPI high. We have previous day high right here. And that 84 level was key from yesterday up into 800. So that 800 to 884, I might use that. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I don't know if we'll get down that far. We're sitting on VWAP. I kind of want to see what happens with price action for the first little bit. Let things settle down and then make a decision here. But we are now open, so let's see what happens. Let's see what this opening range provides us. I am not, like I said, convinced. S&P's below VWAP as well. NVIDIA wicked through that 136 level on that CPI number and now has started to roll over. This could be an initial just continue rolling over, but it's just kind of canceled out that entire CPI move, right? So now it's market hours time and ready to kind of do it on its own terms. More naturally. Let's see. Okay, opening range. Right off the bounce here, there's a bigger size sitting, it looks like at 70. A 70 lot, 69 lot at 70. Alrighty. So opening range here. Let's get that purple box. Get rid of that. Text is opening range. And I want that. inside centered. Okay. There you go. Opening range there. Let's see what happens with the opening range. Apparently CPI ticked down a bit according to that number, so that's why you get that immediate absolute crush of a pump. But now we are looking at rotating back down. Previous day high kind of just created resistance there, and we have sold off since through the overnight high. I think we get another push up. I would not be surprised if we continue to rally through these all-time highs. This is the news that the market was looking for, so who knows? Good news could be bad news, bad news. I don't know. It's just kind of how it goes. It's a patience game today. Very much so. 830 opening range for the S&Ps. Could be looking to trade the S&Ps. The high-low on this candle. High is 56.88. $75. Not too far off. And the low on that is 86.25. Right on target. Bang. Dead center of a range. Really not much for me going on right this second. Gonna kind of be patient. Nvidia is still selling off. Pushing back into yesterday's like upper end of its range. There is some price action that occurred a lot of the day around that area of 135 as being the high. Could push down into 133.76. If it does hold 133.76, I would expect that to be the bounce point. If it doesn't, if it flushes, then who knows? We can get down into Friday's lows, or Tuesday's lows of 129.90, 129, 130. So let's see what happens with those. I'm gonna just kind of be patient with this. You can see a lot of indecision going on currently. Still within that opening range. 67% long on the tilt, so that's interesting to note. Yesterday we were talking about having the ability to kind of talk through your strategy as it's occurring prior to initiating, and not having to rush your entries, right? Not trying to chase something or anything like that. So the ability to be able to do so. It's a 50 lot right there, right where we're at right now. It flashed. I don't know if it got filled. I don't have a time of sales on this. No, it didn't. Not a bigger size. Probably got split up if it did. They did do a reset last night. I did not see it. I wasn't on the video. But today, I believe they're going to redo it also. So when I see that they post a fire drill, I will post it in here if it is during the stream. If not, I'll let you know how to get their stream and how to watch for that free reset if you're looking for it. Some larger size got filled right there at 87. 18 lot got hit on the ask there. Larger participant getting filled here. Still in that opening range. Not anybody leading the way. Nvidia could be leading the way. I mean, realistically, for this uptrend to still be valid, all the way down to yesterday, 772. But if we just time correct or pull back a little bit down into like 840, maybe even that 853, down into here, that puts us close to that that trend line over here, that 30-minute trend line extended out the strongest support would push you down somewhere into this range here. Before I had it drawn a little tighter, it was up into the bodies here. Maybe it would lead us, if it's going to respect that one, up at that 50, somewhere in that range right there between 800 to 50. Just that whole area there is room to pull back to give you that second stage of that rally. You can see NVIDIA still pulling back to that 133.76 mark. If that cracks, watch for more downside down to yesterday's low and into Tuesday's lows. But if it does give this bounce here, that could give you the indication of when our NQ is going to start to move a little bit. So watching all these levels, making certain to note what we got going on here with the CPI coming out lighter than expected. Going to be very patient. This choppiness is something I don't want to really be involved in. I do like the breakout above that previous day high. However, I'm not necessarily going to play it quite yet. I'm going to check the delta. Tilt is very heavy along. It's at 71%. The algos are flashing overhead at 903. 40 lots, 35 lots. The harder trade, Russell is creeping down from the opening range breakout, opening range breakdown on the Russell. So see if it leads this to the downside. I like that opening range break. Very cautious day. You've gotten all the information now, aside from PPI tomorrow. You've had JPOW kind of hinting at September cuts. Not really. It's just kind of how people interpreted it. The inflation number is coming out a little bit better than expected. The jobs data last week revised worse. So economy is kind of jobs market is getting not better, but it's kind of having a hard time a little bit more so than expected. So kind of some of those factors leading to the possibility of that cut in September. But we've been talking about that for a while now. So tilt 72% to the long side, so still could continue to sell off here. We are at an area of interest as far as overnight lows. NVIDIA is at that low from the bounce point from yesterday, so I would like to see maybe it wick through that low, fail it, give us a divergence, and we can rock and roll to the long side from this overnight low. That would be an area to buy if we can get there. If it doesn't get to our level, then what are we going to do? We're going to just wait and be patient. I don't like the 70% long. I'm not a fan of that. 60 lot just flashed and got filled. 35 of them got filled there. So probably looking at the size there, right at that spot, right where we're at here, 59s, 71s. Overnight lows looking like they want to get tagged here. Opening range, S&P's is still a ways away from their overnight low technically. Has not quite recovered this pre CPI number level. And NQ has. So we are leading to the downside in the NQ. The Russell pulled back into the opening range and now is rejecting it again. S&P is getting a little bit stronger with the delta. So people are trying to buy the S&Ps a little bit quicker than they are trying to buy the NQ. I would like to see this S&P down here at that 56.77 in order to buy it, but I don't hate this idea here, right? I want this to pull back even a little bit deeper into the 30s. So down into the 30s, fail the 30s, and then rotate through this overnight low and find ourselves back into accepting into the overnight range and then running back up to the high side. And NVIDIA is kind of helping us out here, kind of bouncing right off that 133.76. Gave you that nice little bounce off that level. It needs to hold and close that, though. It can't just kind of wick it and dance around with it. So I would like to see this get deeper. I can't just buy it off this level just because. Although that's already, a nice 10-point move off that low. It is a good bounce location. That was nice. Very nice bounce right there. That's the move right there. I would like to have traded that. I wanted it to get a little deeper though, right? I said I wanted to get down to 30s, maybe a little bit lower. Maybe it'll get there. But we are kind of just accepting still in this range, in this overnight range here, the blue and yellow. If we break above opening overnight range, overnight highs, potentially that's when the rally starts again, right? That's a nice, perfect little trend line there. Everything has a nice little touch on it. Expect a little resistance here, right? 82. Up to 81, 91. Damn, that was a perfect bounce off that overnight low. If I had the balls to take it, that was I really needed a deeper, just because the S&Ps was so relatively strong compared to this. Didn't get deep enough. I expected maybe one more push down before this goes. And so, like I said, we're not FOMOing into this. We're not going to just hammer in just because. We're going to watch, wait, see what happens at our levels, see if it comes back again, gives us the opportunity to do it at the right time, right? Because I'm not here to just hammer into trades just because they hit my level. I want something to tell me that it's turning around. And that was a great bounce, 53 to 93. 20 points right there. You're done. Nice little catch. I didn't like how long it was on the tilt either at that level, 70% at that level. It's, too much long bias in the retail world. Right, if you caught this thing from our low to VWAP, 920 per contract. Russell's starting to creep, dance around in the middle of its opening range. Let's see what happens. It did lead us to the downside, pulled us down, and then snapped right back up. So let's see if Russell will lead in the direction, and then I can kind of take that divergence and play with it a little bit. There is a large size order at 885. Sitting there. Watch for price to pull back to 885. Filled it. 72 lot got filled. Is it going to hold, or is it going to bounce? Or is it going to break, actually? What am I talking about? I like that low, that hold of that trend line, come back down, flush these lows, stop out everybody who's just shy of that overnight low, and then rotate right back up. So that's what I'm looking for as far as this is concerned. If we go into this a little bit, like I said, I'm maybe we'll get this. We came down, we pulled into here. I wanted it to come deeper, but it didn't. It came right into this resistance, gave it a little wick. I want to see it push down into these 30s, give you a nice close here, and then immediately come right back up into this area here. Look for an entry around this area, and then break out from here, looking to capture that move right there. So that's kind of what you're looking at, right? You come in, people buy here, you stop them out, or you kind of come in, you stop out whoever was short, run it down, grab the small liquid orders here, right below that overnight low, trick people into a short thinking that, okay, this is going to be a failed breakout, and then rotate it right back into that opening high, that CPI high, clean that number up during market hours, and then make a decision at the all-time high levels, see where it wants to go, see if it wants to continue up to 21,000, which is a nice round number, which is very close, right? If I had to take that trade, I'm gonna take this one. I want to see how if I can hold it, if I'm gonna be good about holding it or not. But that's kind of the idea that I have right there is look for this to come back down, flush through our 30s. I'm not chasing that long from before. See if it'll hold below overnight lows, trick some people into a short, and then rally. But tilt is still heavier long side. I'm just gonna refresh this to make sure it's correct. Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, at least VWAP's a little bit ways away. We can catch up into that VWAP hopefully. Going to look, like I said, one contract long. If this just makes a higher low now, what are we going to do? But that's kind of where I'm at with this, with the sweep of this low into these 30s right here, this support level. I'm going to use that. Sweep into here, even come into this depth right there. So between those two lines, I would expect price to kind of come in, accumulate some of these, trick some of these people into getting short through these levels, and then rip it upside. So I want to see these white lines kind of get tagged, hold for a second, and then rally from there. That's a good buy side spot. S&P's is relatively strong, so they are still holding above the opening range. I would have liked them down here to get this buy, but I don't mind if it doesn't because it's still holding relatively strong. And NVIDIA looking like it wants to crack through 133.76 again. So that should help this through the overnight low this time. We are making continuous delta pushes to down. So heavy delta, trying to push, price not catching up at the moment. I want to see a nice wiki volume push down into this. That would be very nice because that would also be the lower end of VWAP, that extension. So then we can go rallying back through that level and then confirm that this was a false breakdown rally. But if we're going to make a higher low on a bigger volume delta push, then that potentially could be the rally starting now. I'm just not convinced of that yet. And I'm not going to take that buy until it confirms it. It's going to have to confirm over the overnight high for me to consider buying that. I want to buy through the overnight low if it comes back down. NVIDIA is cracking through 133.60 right now, so it should drag us down through the low here. That 56 got tagged, filled it, 62, 56. All right, so we're going to start to get heavy here. Hopefully it just rips through, comes into that range down there between those two white lines, fails those levels, and then we start to rally up. If this is just going to be the wick that we get, it's hard to buy that for me. You need to see this get heavy, especially with NVIDIA trying to push through its low of the day, especially, or through the 133.76 level from yesterday. I want it to get a little deeper. Get a little deeper. What's up, Jofi? How we doing, brother? It's been a bit. It has been a bit. Because there's some bigger size playing around this level. 30 lot got filled. Actually, I'd say that's a 60 and 40. It's a 100 lot that got filled here around 61 and 59. Got some smaller but larger pieces. So bigger players coming in here. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Well done. Yeah, I told you it's pretty quick the way they pay out. They don't mess around when it comes to giving you your money. Not like some of the other companies out there that kind of fight you on it. Okay, here we go. Come on now. Break. I wanted to get down into these areas here, fail that, and then rotate right back up. So I'll look to go long through this level here. I'll be able to limit my risk a little bit. Stop by above there. If it does, if it's just going to melt off, then so be it, right? I'm not looking to short this market at the moment. I like that flush into those white boxes there. And then trick people into being short. If it's going to be an aggressive short, then we're going to be bounced out anyway. But we do have down to at 816, even deeper, 820, 816. Some people may ask me why I don't go long off of this box here, because I really don't have that much trust in it not just continuing to sell off. I am a perma bear currently, so I don't trust that this won't melt off for the rest of the day. But per my strategy, I'm looking for a failed breakdown, looking for something to, and then with this bullish environment, that inflation rate came out. Yep, you can copy trade. I'm copy trading 2 right now. You can see at the top of the screen, it says leader +1. Copy trading 2 accounts at the moment. How do you group them? If you're in Top Step X, you go to settings and then you go to copy trade. I'm not going to get into this right now. Copy trading right here. Settings, copy trading. You select your leader. You pick who you want to follow. And that's that. It has to be same size accounts. You also, with your, I don't think you can copy from XFA over to Combine because of the risk parameters. It wants to have the same risk parameters in order to copy. So that's why it doesn't work like that. Okay. Come on, NVIDIA. Pop. We came into that white zone as I expected. I want to see failed breakout to the downside, failed breakdown. And I want to be long through my overnight low. And I want to see if it'll pull all the way up through that being the ignition point for the longs to continue to push up. I put it into that zone there just to not get wicked in. If I get wicked in, wicked out, so be it. But realistically, you would think that if we failed this, we're going to rotate through this resistance above and then probably try and spill our coffee, try and make all-time highs again. NVIDIA looking like it wants to turn around through 133.76. I do this charting on X. Most of my analysis happens on the TradingView chart that I have off to the side. I'll type in stuff onto that. I'll muddy up my TradingView chart. I usually try to keep this one pretty clean. Looking to go long through that overnight low. This is exactly what I drew up, right? Push down into those 30s, somewhere within those white boxes, get a little deeper if you have to, and then immediately come back and fail that and start to rally up through. You got a good delta push, which is nice, right off those VWAP bands, also nice. If it's going to accept above that level, it's going to go into the value area range as well, so it should accept back in and kind of either make the decision pretty quick or fail fast. So I'll either be right or wrong pretty quickly on this trade. S&P's holding the upper side of their opening range. NVIDIA accepting back over 133.76. We pulled all the way down into the area where I was interested for it to fail as a short. If it's going to come up here, wick us out and rotate right back down, then it is what it is. But we came right into that resistance. We're going to try and re-accept back into pretty much that overnight range from yesterday. So, hopefully it'll be a nice quick move through that level up and in. Now S&P's is now giving it up a little bit. NVIDIA is still strong. Looking to see if I have larger size down below at 832. It's 100 lot, 200 lot there at 832. We front running that 832. See if it gets filled before we get tagged. No, we're going to get pulled into this. Let's see what happens. I want to see it pop. A nice hard squeeze up through the highs. All right, we're in. Let's see what happens with it. Hopefully we accept above that range. I'm going to risk that tight. I'm risking tight right below that overnight low. I don't want to be involved if it re-accepts back below. Going to try and hold this a little bit until we get up there. Let's get up there a little bit higher, up 165, basically our 1-to-1. So I'm going to go to even. And now let's see if it'll push right away. It should, like I said, I want it to push immediately with this trade. I don't want it to come back on me very much. I am copy trading this. So let's say I'll take my fees and run. We are long through this level, up 200 on that. I think we can get up a little higher. I'll take my $100 and run. Take my $100 and run on that one. So we're up across two accounts. Let's see, make sure both accounts copied correctly. 102 on both. That's good. I'll take that first little bit. Once it started to slow down a little, I didn't want to take it. I want this move to go very quickly. So I want to see maybe it'll go down below it one more time, come below our entry, and then retest and rally through. If I get stopped out and it continues to rally the rest of the day, straight off of that. I mean, we had a great entry, but for me, my personal strategy, especially early on in these funded accounts, is take my $100 when it gives it to me. If it's not going to go immediately and then run right at any point during that trade, I was up 200, so I'm trailing out basically, my 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1. But I think the fact that that didn't go initially pretty much right away, I want to see it pull back below that overnight low again, potentially, and then try it one more time. Sort of like yesterday, where I was at the overnight high. I shorted it the first time, kind of got in. It went my way, went back, stopped me out. I took the loss on it, and then I took the second and third entries to make it up and be back in. But if I could do that every day, times 2, times 3, times 4 accounts, times 5 accounts, you can't be mad at that, right? So looking to take my money as it comes, as it shows, and go. Some people are looking to be longer term holders. I don't see how this comes back down through this low. So if you have a little bit more space to kind of risk it, I mean, it could come down here, flush this low down to 16. I did say that there's a larger size order sitting at 32s. So sitting at 32s, there was a 200 lot. Currently, they're not there anymore. Or actually, we've come away from 32, so they're not there. I can't see them. I don't know if I can get deeper with my 300 levels. Can I see 300? I can. That guy at 32 is still sitting there, that 200 plus. But so it could still get pulled down to that level. So 32s has that level right there, and we're approaching back towards it. Watch what happens at that 832 level. I'm going to mark it to 832. There's a very big buyer right here. What is it? 832 quarters? No, 832 even. There's a 200 lot sitting there. Okay. So I'm going to mark that. There's a 200 contract resting order at that 832 level, just so you can notate it, see it. Maybe I'll center it. No, that's not helpful. There we go. There's a 200 contract resting order right there. If we do come back down to it, I want to see what happens with those orders. Watch the time and sales over my head, or next to my head over here. You'll be able to see if larger size got filled or not, and what happens with the price action at that level. I want to see if there will be some sort of move. If it doesn't get there, somebody front runs that 33s. That'd be interesting. But like I said, I see this coming here. I want to see maybe one more push, a hold below, and then a rally. S&P's is relatively strong. In you can see the divergence here. Is the S&P's dragging us up, or are we kind of just going to linger down here in the NQ? But for me, I wanted to see this come a little bit deeper before I re-entered that buy order there. So we are sitting 1 for 1 right here. We caught a $100 move. Nice little piece of that. I think this does have the gusto to push all the way up and through. So if you are long, I don't see how you are going to be wrong on this. This seems like a relatively simple idea here at all-time highs. CPI came in lighter than expected. We made these crazy all-time highs up into close to 21,000. Didn't quite get there. So that was pre-market. Market might want to clean that up during market hours. So at some point today, I don't know if we're not going to hit that rally and run. Trend line is really acting strong right now. It's holding it back. I don't want to see if that 200 contract resting order is still there. I can't see 32. I don't have that many. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this book map. People would call it a book map if it's on book map. If we're on Quant Tower, it's called the Surface Dome. Really, all it is showing resting orders on the book visually, and then these are their larger size orders getting filled. I have it set to a little bit bigger, and right now it's showing bigger sizes. So that's a 10 lot there getting filled. As we approach to where you can see that 32, there it is right there. You can see that big dark red line where I'm hovering over. The top left of my screen up there, it says 210 at 20,832. That's the size of the order that's sitting on the book. It flashes, and it's been sitting there this entire time. So don't be surprised if price magnetizes to that 210 order, or if it gets front run, you start to see some of these buildup of orders right before it. Could be looking to front run a buy off of this 232 level. But 210 contracts sitting right there, and it hasn't disappeared. It's been sitting there since I talked about it for the last little while. So just note that, right? I have it noted on here as that 200 contract sitting resting order here. I'll make it to the right. It's fine. Has not disappeared yet. So I do still see that downside pressure coming. If you get front runs here and it never hits off 232, if you don't get any prints at 232, this is a really good long again the next time through. And it's another good timing, right? Because it will hit there. So, I mean, that also helps you decide if you want to go short through that overnight low, because that is a magnet. So if you are in that bearish, this downtrend is going to continue, it's a good target area. But don't be surprised if it gets front ran because of that sitting there, just showing its hand. Also could be trying to get price to get dragged to that 32 level to initiate sellers. They might spoof it, pull it, grab some buyers, and sell it down deeper. So that's kind of one of the tactics that those larger sized players do use. So just be mindful of that, right? They'll sit on the book until they say, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore." Realistically, they're spoofing, which is illegal, but they're not spoofing. They had all intentions of executing that order while price was up here. And then as price comes down, that order disappears or gets filled, and they just sell it off. They get a little pop out of it and they sell it from there. So they drag it down, getting sellers to be joyous, trying to push it to that level, thinking, okay, we're going to buy from here. And then a lot of buy orders build up in front of it. They get the liquidity of those buyers, and then they just turn this guy off and they sell it right through it. So let's watch what happens at that level. See if that's what they're going to be doing. See what kind of strategy they're pulling here. Are they trying to get filled here? Are they just being obvious about their fill at that level? Or are they going to pull from the book and then have it melt off through? 772. I'm going to let it go. S&P's over opening range NQ below. The 832 order is still sitting there, down there. 832 hasn't moved, and I don't see a lot of size front. There's dragged right to it. Price dragged right just in front of it. Didn't get filled. Didn't get filled. Didn't get filled. Didn't get filled. Still there. Still there. Still there. Still showing. 218 now. It's a bigger size. It might be getting front ran. Price got right up to it. Seems like people don't want to let it get to that level. I want to see if it'll fill. If it doesn't, I'm rocking this long anyway, right through this overnight low. Looks like they're front running that 32. But if you start to see right here on my side here, if 32 fills, see what happens with price. If 32 does not fill and it gets through this level, they're trying to draw it here to sell it off further potentially. That's how you use order flow management kind of ideas. There's 43 got filled. Looks like they might be trying to spoof it to get people to draw down into that level. Let's see. They pushed into that level. Filled a little bit of it. Filled 10, 12 orders of it. There it is. It broke. It just broke. I don't know if it got filled. See that? 832, 127, 127. That was a 200 lot. They got filled right there. So that's how you use those order books to figure yourself out a try. And it got filled. I'll say filled. It got filled. So if that's going to be a bounce location, watch out, because that 200 lot got filled. So you could say that they're probably long right now from 832 unless they were getting out. But I don't foresee that they were getting out. So I'm going to go long through the overnight low again. If it gets back there, this is what I was looking for, that higher low, a larger size getting filled, and then see if it'll rotate through. If that larger size got filled and then it's going to start to take some heat, let's see what happens. But that wall is no longer there. That was really interesting to watch, right? That's something that we want to see on the book. $32 broke. Delta's getting heavy now. So that guy got filled. I don't know if that's a stop. I doubt it was a stop. This is going to be a push down all the way down to 17. NVIDIA just broke through that low of the day. S&P pulling back to that opening range, right to VWAP. We're sitting on that resistance at the trend line. So that trend line is right there. 8. There we go. You can see that's right where we're at right now. Yesterday when we hit off on that, we rallied the rest of the day. Could be a good spot. That 200 contract resting order got filled. I noted it here on my, it's a 200 plus contract because it was really like, I don't know, 197, something like crazy, 280. You see this downtrend acting as good resistance here. If we get back above that, pretty much we'll be above that, above the overnight low, back above where this guy got filled. Very interesting how that plays out. So was it a stop out? Was it a, I don't know. Sometimes you kind of just got to figure out what the thought was behind that 200 guy. Sitting on the book the entire time, letting it get filled, and then having price go against it so far. Because 200 lots times, however many handles we're out right now, 30 handles. That's pretty decent, pretty decent money there. It has to be an exit order if it's going to continue down like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but a lot of times those larger players aren't getting filled like that and just going straight down. So, there's a new Delta pushed lower. I think we're going to start to melt a little. Russell's crushing upside. Yeah, so the other names are diverging here. I Nvidia is pushing downside. I did say if Nvidia breaks, it probably has down into that 130 area. So it could bounce. It could bounce anywhere. Right here, it's got some resistance at 131.65 down to 50. I may start to get the Top Step X level 2 data, so I don't have to flip back and forth. But this surface dome thing that I got going on here is absolutely money as far as looking at the order book and looking for price to, I mean, unless they were, they had that order on the book, that 200 lot there, looking to get it filled, and then also, just to draw price down there and then have other larger players just kind of hammering in shorts through that low. That's the only thing I could think of as far as how that was just resting there and filled, and then price does. So that guy is spoofed, where he's out flashing larger size up about a little bit over the price action. I don't hate being up a little bit today in these environment right now, right? Like I said, one good trade. I got out pretty much exactly where I wanted to, right? I was like, price didn't go how I want it to go. So I said, nah, we're not doing that. Wait for this price to get down to 56.77 quarter before NQ decides to give up anything. That was a beautiful short through through that 200 contact. We cracked that trend line there. Finally, that's going to give you this. You see that crack right there? It came pushed into it, bounced from it, and then the next the next real push through, we rolled right into that next area of resistance, that 772, which was the breakout from yesterday. So kind of watch that 772 level, see if it's going to be important, see if it's going to roll down, or if we're just going to continue to go. Overnight previous day lows down here is at that orange line, 703 is that level to be interested in. It's on this chart as this red line there. Sitting up, I mean, really nice. I'm going to get rid of this order because we're well away from it right now. That was just talking through that, understanding the dynamics of price action, order flow, kind of reading the book a little bit. Why I got out of this trade here, I say, okay, I want to pull into here. I want price to get up and above this trend line, break, and start to rally. Right? It seemed like the trap that it was pulling. Once we got back above, we got into here. As I saw we were creeping up, I noted that this 200 contract guy was sitting down below a 32, and I was a little bit standoffish on allowing this trade to happen. But since I had this idea, it could have ran away from this 200 lot pretty easily. Like it could have never came back to it. However, I find that those larger size orders become magnets. So since I noted it. I said, okay, we're kind of pushing through here. It should go immediately, which it went very quickly, and then started to slow down a bit too early, right? This is technically it's a minute. Like I got in middle of this candle. This candle danced around a bit. So I got out, wicked out here, grabbed my $100 and said if we kind of rotate down, we're probably going to pull back to that 32 level where that interest was sitting. So that's where we're at with why I exited that trade. Also, there's parts of it that I'm kind of noting while I'm doing it. So all in all, good idea there to get out. I am a bear. I would have loved to have shorted that opening overnight high on that second touch of it, but we never quite got above it to short it, right? You want to kind of get up into here. This is a nice little continuation idea there as well, but that's not something I'm trading. Especially in this environment, overnight highs, I'm taking my little base hits, all-time highs, I should say, not overnight highs. We're approaching that 56.77, so we're going to watch that. That was a really clean short through that resting order, kind of interested to note why people were front running it. They probably just wanted to see draw price here, draw price here. I didn't think it was going to get filled if this is the price action that we got, but it did get filled. Maybe just get more people involved just prior to it and then just hammer it down. Who's moving this? I don't know. But this is the buy the rumor, sell the news type sell-off from that CPI number. This is a really, really nice, clean selling price action. I love to short. I do. I'm a big short fan. I'm standoffish on it right now with it's hard for me to do through the overnight low in a bullish environment with a good CPI print. Do we anticipate yesterday's low cracking? And if we do, how far do we get below that? Previous overnight low was just below that at 2690. 690. S&P's cracked and now is breaking their overnight low. Where does S&P's have to go? Let's give it a 5 minutes so I can see a little bit further back. S&P's loves to respect levels a little more so than the NQ. 70 could be an interesting level. I think down to 64 could be interesting as well. So let's give this a shot here. 64.25. And then yesterday we kind of stayed range bound until that breakout. The breakout kind of happened right around here. So I'm going to give these interesting, important levels. So bang, right there. I like those as interesting levels to the downside. Previous day low now that our strategy kind of calls for it. This is a heavy market to try and catch the bounce. The hard trade is the long at the moment. Could look to long through this previous day low. Gonna give it a little bit of time to set up. I want to see if S&Ps will start to creep back up over 56.77. Maybe we'll break up here, give our secondary breakdown, and then rotate back up. Red team did come in hot. Unfortunately, they tricked me. They tricked me into not taking it. We are up $100 on the day. Yeah, straight through it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to jump in front of this. I like that short, fantastic short. Reasonably, I kind of would have liked, hindsight being 2020, talking through why I liked the short into that 200 contract resting order that I saw, because it's a magnet, right? At least I used it as an exit criteria, which is good that I was able to recognize that pretty quickly and get out of this. I like to see that. I got to get that level 2 so you guys can see it more cleanly on the dome. I like it in that order book. Right now, I'm kind of just looking through here. If I could have shorted through that overnight low, you never take any heat on it down to that 200 contract and then see what happens at that fill. It got front run a little bit and then it got slammed. So once it got filled, that was that. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets cleaned up at some point today, right? Based on the way this market rocks. I would let NVIDIA get down to like 130 even, 129. Yeah, 130 even. I do like it down to 129.12, but I don't think it's necessarily going to get that deep. If NVIDIA does get to 130 and starts to curl and bounce, then potentially could be an interesting level to be looking at. Yeah, we're up. We're going to go to the Performance Center. straight up over the last couple of days. This day I really should not have even executed, but I got antsy through internet issues, kind of sneaking trades in between when the internet was there and when it wasn't. I was up about $50 at one point. So I went down one bad trade. Really, it was really two trades that I took bigger losers. Not bigger, just my normal loss. But just went straight up on winners all the way up. Once I got to that $50 mark, should have kind of cut it. But overall, every day that we're streamed so far, today and yesterday, we are up. So we are, not rushing to kind of get into anything here. Not trying to catch that falling knife. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I am back. We had a hurricane down here in Texas, so we had no power, no internet. I worked late, a lot of different factors that and then we came back, tried to do it, no internet again. Intermittent, had some power, didn't have some power. But overall, if that's the worst that's going to happen during the hurricane, then I'm going to be happy to have that, right? So we just got some larger size, got filled at 70. It seems like all of them got filled at once, 15, 20, 51, 15, 20, 51. So almost 200 lots got filled there. Maybe they got stopped out. Maybe they are now looking to get filled on the bid. On the ad. Sitting there. Curling from that 64 level that I mentioned, right? And S&P respects these levels way more than NQ. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this does recover some of this. I would like to go long through that previous day low. I'm not looking to catch a falling knife. I want to see a really, really good setup. It's got to show me something for me to actually, if it just goes straight through it and continues on, then, we're not going to be able to catch it anyway. So opening range was left above. We can now see that the NASDAQ was the leader of these indexes because the other ones were going straight up. Well, Russell's still going upside. I'm sure YM is still going up as well. I don't have it pulled up. But if you want to see the divergence here, that's S&P. Here's RTY. Russell straight up. YM. Oop. YM pulling back now. Yeah, so you can see that NQ was the leader because everything else was relatively strong before this big dump. Russell's still kind of strong, still on its bid here since that CPI number has just gone straight up. Russell and back to the S&P. That's not what I want. Nice bounce off that 56.64 level that I drew up there. NVIDIA got to 130.27. So let's see if it holds now. Could break above 131, 132. I like this idea. More people are short. Another good reason. Delta's pretty good. This is the lower band of VWAP. See if it'll hold or if it's going to start to break above it and start to close in that area. If it starts to break and close, this could be the turning point. Right, you have Delta acting stronger, aggressive buyers coming in. You had that larger size that got filled there at 70, so larger size got filled at 70, sort of similar to what we had going on up there. Bigger size now starting to get filled at 704. I think buyers are going to probably come step in here. This is where they started to buy yesterday. I want to see what happens up here at 56.77. Four minutes till the 30-minute candle closes. I'm gonna let this 30-minute candle close before I make a decision. If we can get some price action down here to kind of dance a little bit, maybe give me one more high or low down into 70s, maybe into 80, then start to rotate it back to the high side. That would be a nice little grab. We do have 3 minutes till this candle closes, so I'm gonna let the 30-minute close. Make a decision on that. As always, fuel your trading with Day Trading Coffee Company. Link is always in the chat. It's over on the YouTube on the link. Use code Policing Pips, 15% off. I'm glad you had a green day there, Scott. It's finally, like I said, it's been a little difficult trading week over there in TradeCaster. Jofi was mentioning that it's been a hard week. I personally, like I said, if maybe it was good that I couldn't trade Monday and Tuesday, but realistically, I did trade Tuesday just because I got the itch. Shouldn't have traded these counts. Should have just traded combines or whatever. But it is what it is. You get what you get. But we're back in the green on the account, up $78 across two different accounts, right? $60 on that one. You know, the copier is not perfect. Like I said, let this 30-minute candle flush itself out, figure out what it's going to do. You get a little bit of price action here at 9:30. 70% long on the tilt does not lead me to want to go long here. Hell yeah, good job, Scott. I like it. Bostic's going to come on at 10:15. Natural gas is coming across here in a minute. If you trade natural gas, let's kind of see what happens with that if it comes over. I want to see what happens with natural gas when it comes to the number. Seconds. We are holding above that one standard deviation from VWAP. Delta is trying to be a little stronger than price. You know, you can see price trying to creep down, Delta trying to creep up a little bit. So let's, I X'd out of it. Boo. Party foul. I want to see what this natural gas does on a number, just to note it. Dumped. Must have been a negative or a glut. Short through the low, huh? Yeah. Excess leads to selling, which is pretty clean move there. I don't trade natural gas, but I wanted to see what that looked like on the news release there. All right, let's see. 30-minute closed below this. So the close was this. This was the 30-minute close. We're now starting to creep back above it. I don't know if I trust it yet. I want to see what happens at 56.77 and a quarter for the S&P. Is the S&P going to continue its downside pressure through this overnight low, or is it going to rotate and hold above it? I did like this low as, like I mentioned, that bounce area. It's a little heavy long on the tilt for me. Like I said, still for the retail side of it to be long that heavy. I think that there still might be some moves to the downside. So maybe when we get up to that 56.77 quarter, selling kind of comes back in a little bit. Kind of we might dance around this previous day low some. Yeah, always get back to the habit of green days, bud. It's nice. Like if you get on a losing streak and you see some green on your day and you don't feel super confident, you don't feel like the flow state is there. Maybe you went red to green like you did. Just shut it down, lock yourself out, call it a day, and then just kind of move on and trade Friday. See if you can do the same thing. Just build a winning streak. And once you get that winning streak in you, you know, you get that dog in you, then you start to feel the market, you start to see it well, you start to really press the pedal down a little more. You know, you got to go through those ebbs and flows with your feelings. It's kind of really interesting. 78% long. I want to short through this previous day low. I want to see this thing melt more, burn these. Show me that this inverse tilt works. I feel like if you shorted through the low right now, you could at least get down to 39. I feel like this isn't done yet. I gotta reopen that. Sorry. I like the short because of tilt. See if I get Delta to play along. See if it plays. I'm not going to take it right now, but I want to see if that plays. This is a nice little simple strategy here. Break that, break down. See if we get down to the low here. This is wild. This is not ready yet. There we go. Ooh, that was nuts. Sorry if I gave you a stroke. There it goes. Delta getting heavier, price getting heavier, tilt is getting heavy long. If this closes below here, I think we anticipate a nice quick move down through 60 and then into 39s. Just playing a continuation of this. Not very fast with that follow through. There it goes. So this should now move. Good job, Carlos. Like it. Sounds good, Scott. I'll see you. I'll be at work today. Nice, clean move through that break. Like I said, 60 would be that, 65, and then 39s. Just based on that retail heavy tilt. If we can get this wick to go below here, a volume breakdown through 39, trick some people into some more shorts, ease up this long, and then try and rip it through the highs. Then maybe that's when I want to take it. Try and time it in that sense. I don't ever really like when tilt is very heavy in the direction that I'm kind of considering. So $692, got some size filled there. Tilt has eased. It's down to 61% now. NVIDIA got down to 130 quarter and bounced. So, like I said, I wanted to see it get down to 30. Never quite made it to 30. Let's see if it does after this little push down. I don't know if it will, right? I think we're kind of dancing around this previous day low. There is decisions to be made here. We got a higher low here. Delta has, I mean, tilt has diminished a bit. Trying to see what kind of orders we have to draw some in a certain direction. 50 lots, 50 flash, 13, 47, 56, about 700. Down below, looking at a 50 lot at 70. $86 is just sitting there, sitting on the book. They're going to get filled, and they pulled it. They thought about it, they pulled it. They reset it down one tick lower. They're kind of chasing price with it. Are they going to get filled on the short? Bang. Got hit, filled twice. Let's see. We don't have good delta, indicating a buy right now. You see delta still making lows, price making higher lows. I want to see what happens with that. That short was really nice through that low. Sorry, I'm looking through this, see if I see any big, large resting orders like we saw before that kind of initiated that sell-off at 32. All right. While I wait, if anybody has any questions or anything, let me know. Realistically, looking to try and maybe pop this long, but it still seems like it's short idea here. Still feels heavy. Still doesn't feel like anything really wants to be bid up. Kind of giving up everything that came out yesterday on that capitulatory top. If we go to Fear Greed Index, let's see what it looks like today. I stated in my write up, if we start to creep into that extreme greed, we're going to start to sell a little bit. We're on the north side of neutral a little bit. S&P 500 extreme greed a little bit. 52-week highs on the stock exchange is fear. We do have the put call option. 5-day average ratio is extreme greed. The price breadth is fear. So kind of neutral and neutral, right? You can kind of see how it bounces back and forth. I'd say we're on the north side of neutral. People seem to be greedy, but right now fear is starting to step in. Like they're ready to take some profits. I want to wick this high volume wick to 39, rotate back up. %60 long, better on the tilt. $60 lot down here, kind of just trailing this, following this around. Price is moving around a little bit. The imbalance, is it going to say what the imbalance is? It does say 50 lot here. You can see how fast price moves on the NASDAQ. If you don't really know what you're looking for, you're going to have a hard time trading NASDAQ. I would recommend S&Ps at least, or something else. I like this bounce. I like that delta push. Like I said, delta was making new lows. Price hasn't followed through on it. I would like to see maybe a flush of this low down into that level there. Down into that 39.40s, and then pop right back up. if we do get one of those capitulatory bottom piece moves, right? Something that looks like a wick off bottom, then the rotation back that other direction could come into play. These are the types of moves I look for. I'm not looking for full reversals. I'm just looking for opportunities to capitalize on movements, right? Still haven't heard anything about the fire drill, so once I do, we'll post the link in here. Gonna look to see if we break this low. New lows have been made. Nvidia is still looking to crack through 130. S&P is looking to break 64. $50 lot flashing at 40. More size flashing at 40. 100 lots, 50 lots, 100 lots, 50 lots. So a couple of people coming in and out of the book there. You can see it trying to get front ran a little bit. There's orders there, so potentially could be looking to get more liquidity down out of that. Kind of a quick break. Next bounce point I have on my major structure levels is 625 even right there. Bang, 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 bang. So if we do crack this, watch for that 625. I do like this as like a, oh, we're going to get short, get, trick people in. Same deal as what we had before. And then to rotation. The bulls love to step into this market, so I'm never convinced that the selling is going to be just consistently sustained. If we do start to get this, though, I will be very happy. If we start to get this as the corrective day, and price tries to pop up, but then they start to fade it some more and start to fade it some more. Those are the times when I make my most money. I do the best shorting. Let's say that we're going to open on the overnight high like we did today, stuff like that in a downtrend. I would like to short those, and I'm able to hold with shorts a lot longer. If I was able to catch this, I was probably do a better job of trailing this out. Like I would have been able to have been, in through here and then just trailing candle to candle on it and never get really taken out until about probably once I start to get to this low, I would probably would have been out down here. That's a nice move there. Tilts heavier short. Delta's starting to creep up a little bit. You did just bounce off that standard deviation of VWAP, hit right off that 39.75 support level that I was talking about before. I do like that 25 level below, but 39 3/4 did make sense for that next level down because of all of this support breakout areas. All right, fire drills out. If you want a free reset, click over here to this link. I got to get it to work. The link's not working. There we go. Here you go. Free reset. Click that link. Enter your Top Step information. Here you go. Free reset. Click it. It is in both chats. let's see what Carlos had to say. Is the downside is over overall ATR and Nasdaq is 2,000 points. We already made 2,400 points. Yeah, I would never say never. I don't think that it's necessarily totally done. Like I said, my next downside support area is 625. So 625 could draw us down to there, but I like this starting to curl back up. Russell still moving upside. We have slowed down quite a bit. You see an aggressive buyer coming in here with the delta. So potentially could see the bottom coming in right here, right now. But I'm not going to be convinced on it until I get a good setup to make the idea, take the shot on it, right? These are the things you look for here, right? I mentioned that if we break through this, right, we come up here, we break through this low, break through this trend line, we probably make it down to 39, right? If you want to rewind the stream, you could always take a look at it, see what you got. Yep, for all Top Step accounts, you enter that fire drill and you go ahead and they'll send you the email tomorrow morning and you will have a free reset tomorrow morning emailed to you. So make sure you send it out as quickly as possible. I don't know if there's amount or time limits on it, but they always send out one of these, here and there every week or every couple weeks. So I wanted to keep you guys in the loop for the free reset, because why not, right? If you need it, you can always use it. All Top Step accounts. It doesn't matter what platform you use. Absolutely. Try to keep my people in the know, I want to make sure everybody's doing doing the best that they can. I know it's easy to burn these combines, so take the money and take the free money. Sometimes it feels even better to pass a combine after you get a free reset, Just feels good. 54% short. About 10 minutes here till 10 o'clock. We stream here every day, 8:30 till 11 a.m. Central Time. I'm looking at this chart here. Let's see. I want to see what happens with S&Ps around this level. I want it to give me something sort of fast, real quick price action. Give me something to buy. Let's text Ray, make sure he's on. Currently not doing much. Waiting, potentially. We took that one good trade there. I mean, like I said, I took my money and I ran on it. Sometimes you just got to take $100 and walk out the door with it. I do want to see if I could catch this on the other side of the V. If we start to make higher lows and we start to accept back into previous day lows, then there is a better opportunity there for me to kind of limit risk and rotate out. I did like a bounce from 39, but price hasn't really given me that capitulatory bottom where it's like, hey, I'm ready to go the other way. I'm not, sweeping liquidity. Could it just bounce right here and rotate right off? It could, but it's not. It's too slow. Price is too slow for me to say that that's what's happening with it. It's a nice little piece here. It's starting to speed up. You are getting delta to come back in. Let's see if it'll start to creep out. I mean, that was a nice, easy. Nice easy 10, 20 points right there. So let's see what happens if we can continue this. Waiting patiently to let a thing set up, get back above our levels, start to accept back into the previous session price levels. If not, it was a good idea waiting for that 30-minute candle to close before thinking about doing anything, right? Because, okay, you could have took this right here on that rip, but we closed that 30-minute beforehand. You could have took this and said, I'm going to go long through here, and got stopped. So waiting for key levels to kind of close out, let the price tell you what it's doing, kind of just understanding, notating what's going on with these levels. This is a failed breakout now again. Who knows? 600 is very close. 620. My gosh. Not anything that I'm ready for yet. Like I said, still very flat, sideways. Price action down here at these lows, it is slowing down, right? It does indicate that potentially it's found its low, but I don't think that that's convincing quite yet. Just kind of going through my coffee emails and stuff, making sure everything is clear. I think there's still some more room to go down. I think that, like I said, that 625 even, 630. So in that range down there below. Nice. It's amazing the power of social media and really trying to push out your brand a little bit. You get good views on your posts, and things actually start to kick off a little bit. You can see the direct correlation between analytics on the website and on the socials. So if you ever do start a company and you want to run it through social media and stuff like that, it's it's a long game. If you were interested in my write-up, I posted it on the YouTube chat. It's pinned to the top. I think that's the write-up. It might be just the website. Not yet. I posted it to the top. It's pinned to the top of the YouTube. It's also in our Tradecaster chat. If you just scroll back, if you want it, let me know. I'll send it in here. It's also in the alerts section. There's the break of the 64 of the low of the day. Looks like we're going to try and break here as well in the NQ. If it doesn't, if this is now where we start to see that flush of that low, and then maybe we pop back up, let's see what happens with it. Got 5 minutes to the close of the hour, so I'm not looking to do anything anyway, so we'll see what happens. Overall, up 102, copying it twice. We got ourselves out of that quick little drawdown that we had there on Monday or whatever, our first day trading without the stream. Really not trading without a plan. That's what it'll do for you. It'll draw you down. But the days we stick to our plan, the days we stick to our entries, our trailing rules, getting in, getting out, making sure we just take the money that we get, provided, and then on certain days we're going to get our bigger hits, right? Maybe the analysis would have told us, if we weren't at these all-time highs and just continuously just burning through these highs, the short here from that overnight high through that opening range low, this is a kind of a home run type day. However, not many people are looking for this, so I'm not really too upset about missing that move, right? I was looking at that 200 contract, resting order, a lot of things that I was looking at there. Like we talked through a lot of why price would get pulled to here, and then does it break and run? That's just a market break. Yeah, it is slowed down quite a bit. It is breaking down now. It did hit through that 25 level that I was interested in. 17 is really that area is of interest as well. Now you're going to get into 600. These slower grinding moves down technically kind of have potential to just continue on. Monday's low, pre-market low, is 20,579 and a quarter. So 579 and a quarter is that pre-market low from Monday. So the weekly low currently is right there. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to put this 79 quarter. This is the weekly low. This is the low of the week. So I'm just typing these things in here just so you guys can see kind of what I'm looking at. Oh, that's gross. If they want to clean up Friday's breakout, down into 400, 428. This is not what I want to execute. If we do start to accept back above that trend line crack that I just drew here, this is like a longer term, a little wedge pattern that I like to trade. It's not tight enough for me. It's a little bit wide. It's a little broad, kind of leading me to believe that we're going to kind of just continue to stair step to the downside. And the downtrend really isn't invalidated at all. If you kind of come back up into this area here, maybe if you get into there around, right when stream is about to end, if it starts to creep up here, that's when this will start to pop off if it does invalidate this trend line. But for now, we're approaching the low of the week from Sunday's open. So see what happens with that. This heating pack is not... I gotta get rid of it. I got a hip pain that just doesn't want to go away. All right. See if we flush the low of the week, and if that happens, see if sellers start to really come in harder, right? 100 lot there at 580. Yep. Still sitting there, 580. I'm gonna guess it's 100 lot because it's kind of fluctuating the rest of those numbers. 127, 129, 130, 131. So people are starting to stack orders on top, but they are behind the 100 lot. So the 100 lot's got to get filled first. They might get, see what happens with it down there. I might start noting it on here and then not doing anything on the other one. Russell's starting to curl down. I mean, it's been curling down a little bit for the last 5 minutes, but starting the 100 contract resting order. Watch the 80 level act as a magnet with that. That's sitting there. See if it'll come pull through it. It is the low of the week as well, like I said. So is that going to be the area that's the low gets tagged on? Yeah, too bad I didn't pull my bearish. I put my bearish hat on today. I didn't have it on. With these news events, with the CPI, with everybody, jubilous in these buying, I was not looking to sell that right away, and so we did not sell. We bought one attempt through the overnight low, made $100 on it, and have just kind of sat on our hands here. I'm not trying to pick bottoms. I am not trying to fight the elevator down, right? I want to see it turn. I want to see the other side of the V. I want to see something tell me that, okay, we're accepting back into the previous day session. Until then, this is going to just grind straight down or create price action that's not tradable for me. But realistically, using these order blocks, you can see why price gets pulled to certain levels as well. So potentially start to use that in your trading, start to understand why price does get drawn to those larger order blocks. Is it going to get filled down there? Does it not get filled? What does price do after it gets filled? So this 200 contract resting order got filled and then selling initiated, right? Basically, once that 200 lot gave up, boom, 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 got filled, then we just melted off from there. We have a 100 lot sitting here. You can still see them there. 131, 131, 131, 132. Kind of just lingering here. 128. I would guess it's a little bit bigger than a 100 lot. But you can see it hasn't moved. Same deal as the one before. Are they going to try and draw price to here to continue to sell through that level? Or are they front running the low of the week to try and bounce play? And then do you start to see size creep up in front of it, right? So you can see that. If I can get it to go, you can see that right there, 136 just sitting. And then you can see orders starting to build up in front of it a little bit. There's a 50 lot, a 40 lot kind of bouncing around in front, but this 130 has not disappeared. It's still sitting there, just hasn't moved. 136. I want to see that get flushed. 137. Oh, that guy's filled there. What is that? 100 lot just got filled here at 600. You can look at that big, all that got filled on the ask there. I think that's what the red is. I'm pretty sure that's when it got filled on the ask. Depends on the platform. See if this is the opposite end of the V. There you go. Well done, sir. It slowed down quite a bit, right? Came in front, ran that resting order. Will it come back to it? Kind of how it did when we were up over there. But I want to see if this is going to be now the break and hold. And now we start to rotate back. And then it can give me my idea around the previous day low to kind of give you that bounce play. But like I said, that 625 level is my longer term. It hasn't been up here that long. But if you go to this chart here, you can see the 625 level was that downside support level. Tons of consolidation, lots of chop on Monday that we kind of dealt with on top of that level. Tuesday used that as support. Are we going to use that support now here on Thursday? We flushed it, and then we immediately came right back above it. Now in the 10 o'clock hour now. So let's see if we can get back up over that previous day low. You're safe, Joe. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of, watch this level here, but see what happens with S&Ps here at 64. If S&Ps cracks above and holds, you should have plenty of holding room. Up 40 points on that bad boy. Nice little bounce. Good work. Good work. I like it. $650. There is a large size sitting at $650. 130 at $650. I'm going to just try and keep notating this for you guys so you can see the order blocks kind of as they come and go. But if you just see my screen and you watch for a big red price level, that's usually a larger order sitting on the book. The one below seems to have, we don't have that depth of market, so potentially not there. But let's see. Price will get drawn to 50. See if it wants to draw it up so it can go long or if it's going to stop and pause. But that 44 level acting pretty strong there as well. Russell's still creeping up. S&P's did its little curl. It needs to do something here at 64. That's the breakdown area. Well done, Jofi. I like seeing nice 20, 30, 40 point wins out of these markets, right? See if this pulls back, bounces. I'd say that's a good way to be done. I'd take 30 points right now and be done. Nice quick little piece, get it in, get it out, move on for the rest of your day. I don't see like great price action coming out of this. It could, in theory, but especially I'm sure you did all right in pre-market. And I think that realistically right now, it's just trying to pick bottoms. It's just trying to either find a way to get into the trend or pick bottoms, right? That's the kind of thing we're at. And with price slowing down, volume getting a bit lower, you're not really getting a ton of really great opportunity left. So if you caught 30 points a day keeps the day job away right there. Those of you who don't know what 30 points will get you, 30 points times $20 gets you $600 right there because that's $20 a point per mini. Jofi pulling out that 600 spot. Let's see if that 100 lot's still there. Looks like that 100 lot pulled off at 80. So possibly not there anymore. Delta giving you another higher low here. See if we do crack above this 44, if Delta plays along. Yeah, easy to say in hindsight, right? That could be a break, retest, rally. Let's see if Delta wants to break out. It looks like it wants to. Starting to get strong again here. Could that be a higher low? Could that be the bottom? We will see. 61% long on the... Yeah. Trading is so easy when you look at it after the fact. And Deck rocking and rolling with $1,800 on the day. He's in a nice groove there. Keep your profits relative. Keep your targets relative. Ooh, man, sorry. Yawning. Yeah, right? You could have easily just put it on the number that won. Why even bother putting on all those other numbers? Just put it on the one that won. Stupid mistakes. That's funny. That is the best way to win. Absolutely. Put it on the right number. Just, I don't know why more people don't just think of that one. I still don't hate this long idea, but I needed to get to the other side. But that 630 is sitting there with a 100 lot, so I'm going to switch that over to that 100 lot resting order there. Is that 630 I said? $129, 630 even. It's weird that those orders continuously be placed on even round numbers, telling me a little bit of something of a different story, right? If they were trying to get filled, I feel like they wouldn't be just placing those big round numbers. Hell yeah. I mean, these levels are very consistent. It's where people were interested before. It's where they're going to be interested again. There's not a lot of, I think we overthink this market a lot. I think a lot of people do. And the reality of it is, if you can just be very simple, keep everything relative to what you're doing as far as risk to reward, and just kind of execute around these big key areas, that's all that's being done in the macro environment anyway. So might as well just get along with it. And it's nice that YM actually had a level. All these other names, are at these crazy all-time highs. So we're not really helpful here, Beautiful. That's a nice little spot, right? I like that a lot. There's a big size that got filled there. 93 got filled at 611. This person wants to get filled a lot here. See which way it gets filled. Bigger size getting filled here at the 610, 611 level. 611 got 14, 14, 14, 14. That's 56, 54. I'm sorry, 48, 28, and 28, 36. Come on now. Quick math. 605 got some size getting filled. So bigger size is starting to come in here, playing around with this 600 level. We'll see if the 600 level is important or not. I mean, obviously it's important. It's psychological. It's a round number. But see if this becomes the low of the day for now. I still feel the heaviness a little bit here. Not totally convinced. It is kind of just sitting on this trend line here. Yeah, I don't do that. Up $100 on the day across 2 accounts. Nice espresso delivery here. Woohoo! You can take the water. It's empty. Yeah, why not? Switching over to the espresso. Maybe it'll get me some more movement in this market. Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. Job. I mean, realistically, like I said, I think you're doing a really great job as far as the levels are concerned, all that. Just executing around levels, being consistent, understanding why they're going to just, instead of just hammering into things in the middle of areas, like that doesn't make much sense. Just because there's something, some sort of pattern forming randomly in the middle of zones, that's it. Once you can start, that's the only way that this, I think you last in this at all, is if you really just consistently plan out what you're going to do, have an idea, and just do it. Because otherwise, you're just guessing. And yeah, it's impatience, right? You're exactly correct. It's impatience. It has a lot to do with that. What? Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So every day that I've been streaming for this last month, however long July is, the end of June, we've been green every day because the days that we stick to our plan, we don't, like, I could have easily been chasing this, trying to catch longs, like, oh, it's going to reverse now. Oh, that 200 contract I feel it's probably going to bounce, and just started entering long. But I'm staying away from executing just random levels, trying to avoid, FOMO, revenging, getting back in after things don't work. If they work correctly and they're still valid, then it makes sense, maybe one entry more, but not to just keep hammering it because it's going to work, because it's obviously invalidated, right? So sticking away from, a few little bad behaviors, yeah, maybe you won't make a ton of money right off the jump, but if you just continue to do it every single day, the same over and over and over again, it's not a bad habit to have, right? Did that big size come back? If you're just joining us on the stream, I did post the link. If you are on Top Step, you can get your free reset. I sent the link in there. It is for one free reset. You send in your email and your credentials and you'll get a reset. You could use it on any one of your Top Step accounts. So click it, go over there, get yourself your free reset. I think they're going to send it out tomorrow morning. So don't be afraid to click it, put in your information. I think you got to submit it by some point before they're done with it. I don't think they leave it up there all day. So just be mindful of that. Feeling heavy again, right? We broke new lows. That 80 didn't come back. I didn't see the size on it, right? I didn't see any huge size. Here's right here at 75, just got filled. That was a decent size. Now we're starting to get more heavier selling right through the low of the week. That was a really nice sell. You see that resting contract, that resting 100 lot. I don't know if it got filled or not up there, but still just really, really nice downside pressure. We cracked through that 625 level, and I mentioned that the low of this run up and break was that 78, 79 level, 79.25. Through that level now, I mean, there's not a lot of resistance all the way down to 459, 460. I'll even call it 450. $450, $460. That's so if you're looking at this objectively, right? Look at this level that we have here, right? This is the level we just cracked and broke with nice pressure. And you can see we're still heading straight down. All of this came on diminishing volume, right? Every candle after this started getting lower and lower and lower in volume. There's not as many great orders sitting in here all the way down to 500, even onto the top of this wick here. That's 496. If you play it just to that, then maybe you might run into resistance right here in the middle of the range. But realistically, if you start to accept into this, you're going to see movement all the way down potentially to that 456. And this is how I work zones, how I work levels, and have like a little bit of a better understanding of what's going on, right? We cracked that uptrend pretty cleanly up here, and now we've just came through all these levels, right? That was a really nice blow off top for CPI, and now we're just running straight down through everything. Oh, money every day, Deck, every day. Listening to that money. We're on a nice green streak with the streams. When we're able to get on and we're not affected by hurricanes, we are out here trading, making sure everybody is getting good opportunities, providing quality value for your TradeCaster members, of course. Yes, that's not big profits, but it is still green. We avoided trying to pick bottoms on that melt off of the NASDAQ here. So I'm normally a bear, perma bear. Didn't quite get myself to pull the trigger on this at these all-time high levels, but opening range, VWAP overhead, trying to sell through that overnight low after I was long through that overnight low, could have been an opportunity. You could see in hindsight, right? It's always best in hindsight. It really feels heavy. Not much for me. I'm not trying to pick bottoms, right? Like, I'm just going to talk you through these levels, and there's a chance in a couple minutes I'm going to lock myself out, up 100 across two accounts, $200 on the day. Take that and walk away. Going to consistently, like I said, this is the first week in these two XFAs, copy trading them across two. We're going to also try and build up, a few more in the background, trying to load up into 5. Had 1, had 3. I burnt 1 on accident trading the other day. Didn't actually mean to, but there's no excuses. Whatever you do, you do. Take responsibility for it and move on. This is the focus for these accounts, right? We've traded these really great through Combine, trading them very consistently, and we've only been here for 2 days, but sticking to the plan, keeping ourselves accountable, not doing things that are outside of our normal executions, and we'll just go from there, right? I mentioned that NVIDIA probably could come into support at 129.12, which it just did. It broke through that down into the 128s. So note that for yourself. See what happens down here at these lows. Is this going to be some sort of channel? This is why I like trading futures on a day-to-day basis. This is plenty of opportunity here to make good money. If I were to have switched from NQ over to S&P and executed today on S&P instead because it was a laggard, you can kind of pick an opportunity here between the two names. There's correlation there. And if one is diverged from the other, which one is leading? Why is it leading? And then what can we gather in order to make a decision across these two, right? So, moving forward for myself, and even for you, and looking forward in the future, you can use both of these, use their levels, and get yourself to make decisions in regards, right? Because I was talking about here, I said, oh man, this NQ is still holding below its opening range. It's below its overnight low, and the S&Ps was still up over its opening range, up over VWAP, right? And you start to see cracks here. You start to see cracks in NVIDIA. I mean, the other names were pumping, YM, Russell. It seemed like the NQ was the outlier, but it's now, if you think about it, NQ was leading us to the downside, trying to pull us down. S&P finally followed, break through that opening range low, rotate right to the overnight low, and straight down through. So just kind of using these two names in according, to each other, looking for those divergences, looking for our levels, find level here, find a level there, play the one that's going to work out better for you. S&P is going to be a little slower, a little thicker. You can definitely respect levels more. Love you, brother. I appreciate you stopping by. As always, nothing but love in this chat. I'll see you tomorrow, 8:30. We'll be here bright and early, ready to make Friday count, keep the money from the week, and just grow the account one more day, and try and be in here as long as possible with these fundeds and just grow our funding, and as a team, hopefully work together and make things happen. So always a pleasure having you, Jofi. Yeah, I think really, trade tomorrow. That's always the mantra, right? Don't look to do crazy stuff today, because you always notice that the days you try to do more is the days you make way less or burn your shit, and then you get into that funk of out of rhythm. Just stay in rhythm, stay in routine, and you'll be just fine. You don't have to trade. If you don't see stuff, then don't execute. I'm adding stuff to these charts here for you guys to see, just because I don't feel like just kind of it happens, man. It happens to get out of your rhythm, but realistically, you can get back into it. Today's the day. You got back in. You got some green out of it, I think. I know you went up, I don't know, on those trades there. So I don't know what you did prior to that, but it seems like you did all right. Take that first green day, take the second green day, start to roll them together, get back in the routine, get back into the rhythm, stick to your levels, stick to your zones, stick to your own edge. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Deck's out there making $1,800, $2,000, $3,000 a day. You can make a couple $100 a day and be just fine. It's all good. That happened to me last payout as well. I was up really nice, took a smaller payout, and then I got out of rhythm once I took the payout, and then started to fear myself out, and that's kind of what ended up happening with my my last round of funding. But not looking to do that again ever. But it happens. You got to learn and go from there. And at some point you're going to burn it, but keep it as long as possible. Yep, exactly. Later, dude. You as well. I'll be going to work after this, so this is the enjoyable part of my day, but at least, got the steady W-2 going. Get out of here. Enjoy Dubai. Overall, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm done executing on the day. I want to see what happens in the next 10 minutes or so. See if we start to get a rotation back up through here, back up through some of these levels. This 100 contract, when we come back towards it, I want to see if it's still getting any attention, if it's going to get drawn back to that. I don't see any huge order sizes except for right here. This guy is a 60 lot here at 530. Not huge, nothing crazy. That's relatively small compared to the hundreds, 200, 300 lots you're going to see in regular market trading. while I'm here, if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, likes, comments, whatever you want to do, send them out here. We are live every day, 8:30 to 11. Just trying to provide some value here. Not trying to sell you anything but coffee. Speaking of, daytradingcoffeeco.com. Click the link in the chat or the YouTube. Check out the write-ups. Those write-ups, education is always free. I don't want to charge anything for that. I'm not going to be somebody selling you a course, but I always want to try and provide really quality coffee options and fuel for your trading routine. And for me, obviously, you see me day in and day out on here. I'm always drinking coffee. Keeps my focus in there. And there is an article written on how caffeine can benefit your focus and your energy levels. I don't get the jitters. I don't get the crazy energy kick from coffee, obviously, because probably I have been beyond addicted for a long time. But it does enhance my focus and, create a little bit more, of a zone for me. And I know that does it for a lot of people in this country, and especially traders needing to focus and doing everything they do to enhance that. A nice cup of coffee in the morning can do that for you. So head over to daytradingcoffeeco.com, link in the bio. Use code PolicingPips for 15% off, as always. But like I said, if you're not a coffee person, we do have cool mugs, glassware, shirts, hats, anything you need. Let me know, and I can maybe make something happen for you. But right now, like I said, just avoiding trading this melt off. Realistically, if I go into my chart here, this didn't really happen in a way that would have been conducive for me to trade it, right? We came right into here as support, and then we started to melt through it. And then as soon as we cracked through this trend, hold here, capitulate through the high on CPI, and then melt off. This is I apologize. This is a classic buy the rumor, sell the news type event here, with CPI being the major number for the week. They was getting bid up into it, with Jay Powell kind of yapping on the hill, giving you some little to no information as always, maybe hinting at a September rate cut, but not quite really explicitly saying it. And then you get good news on the CPI, you capitulate out, and then you rotate down, canceling those all out. My only thought process on this was we probably wanted to clean that CPI number up during market hours. So that was my hesitation on the short. I also was looking to go long at the overnight low, and I got a quick bounce. That's where I made my quick $100. I was up 2, but I was looking to trail a little bit looser. I wanted to see if that would get us to back over that level. But once I saw some resting contracts. There was a 200 contract resting order. We went long right there. I went long here on the thought process that we were going to sweep the lows, come into this level here where I saw that there was some interest, and then we were going to rotate through, back up through the overnight low. We got our first pop, really nice, clean move, never took any heat on it. And then it started to falter. I noticed this 200 contract resting order right before I kind of entered this. So I was a little bit more standoffish on executing that as a longer hold, which was great. In hindsight, it was a really good trail. I trailed out for $100 on it, really just got through there, trailed out to this level here and got out. In anticipation that if it did kind of go up and crack through here, it would have gone a lot faster. It would have been something like this, where you get one big move, a next big candle, and then you start to run into the resistance at that trend line, which it didn't happen. It kind of faltered out a little bit quicker than I anticipated. So that's why I hammered out of that. And I also thought that we were going to kind of magnet right back to this 200 contract, which ended up happening. I wanted to see this deep pullback and then a rotation back up for a long. Once that 200 got filled, seems like it was a trap for the shorts, and we ended up getting sold off quite a bit. And now we're just continuing that sell-off throughout the session. Do I think that this is going to be just a continued melt-off? I don't really trust that, to be honest with you. I did say that we do have down to 450, 460. So down into this range right here is probably, the area where there would be some more resistance, more of a trap, more of an idea to get capitulatory, to get back down and run the other way. Just based on that was where the breakout was on Friday. That was Friday, yep. So that's where we broke out from Friday. So I would anticipate price to get into here, do whatever, and then run that way. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to go use the restroom real quick, be right back, and then we'll end the stream here at 11 o'clock. Still pushing downside. Just getting texts from more friends wanting to learn how to day trade. I love to see it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing when people are like, I want to learn, I want to do this. So that's why I stream. That's why I do this. I want people to learn. I want people to understand what it's all about. You know, how to go about doing this day in and day out, building a routine, and go from there. I'm going to text him real quick, so just give me a second. This is a nice little burn to the bottom. I think, like I said, down to 20,000. Let's give me. I'm gonna give you a number right now. Let's give you a number. 452. 452. 452. That's where I want to see this stop. And if it doesn't stop there, it's going to go down to 428. The 19th. 94.52. Okay, starting to push down, back up, rotating off of this little down wedge thing that's going on. It's 10:45. The likelihood of me getting into anything at my levels is very unlikely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock out, manually lock out. I'm not looking to execute anything, not trying to bottom pick this, not trying to do anything like that. I do think this is very close to the bottom. If we are, yeah, I think we're very close to the bottom. I think we do kind of come into here and rotate back down. This didn't feel too capitulatory, but it could. So my buddy asked me if there was any laptops or anything that I recommend, and I'm going to tell him for as far as computers are concerned, it's really just anything that can process things quickly. I don't recommend Macs because a lot of programs tend to not work on Macs. But realistically, anything that has decent processing power. Still nothing here. Like I said, I locked out. It's 10:50. It's 10 minutes to the hourly close. I'm really not looking to do anything else the rest of the day. We're ending the day green on a very difficult trading day, I think, for many people, especially the bull people, people who are perma bulls. I'm not. I'm a perma bear. Really, this is a very difficult entry criteria, right? Because you have been in this constant uptrend, and the anticipation of it cracking on a CPI day where you get lighter inflation on the anticipation of Fed cuts on the September meeting, you think maybe we get a little bit more of a rally in us. And a pullback like this is healthy. You do need a crack. You do need to clean up some of the things that happened last week. There wasn't really any reason for that rally on Friday to me, to be honest. I did kind of anticipate some sideways price action this week. So right now we have just kind of rolled into being just slightly negative on the week. That doesn't mean that tomorrow we can't come out and cancel this entire move out, or by the end of the day, people going away for lunch and the bulls just stepping in and slowly grinding this up. But for me, I'm cool with taking one and done $100 across two accounts, right? If I take this account, I got two accounts that made $100 on the day. That's $200, that I didn't have before. We are starting to continue to build really good habits, everything like that. I will send him this link. Give me a second. I'm going to share this right now. How do I share? I'm so bad. It's sad because I used to be like a technology person completely. Overall, I think realistically we're just kind of going to grind around here. I think that 452 level does make a lot of sense for it to have as a downside like area of interest of where it wants to go. I want to see if there's any sort of resting orders here. I don't see anything down at that 452. It is 485, 480. We haven't quite gotten to that area yet for these orders to show up. I only have 100 amount of order flow to go. Let's see what happens with this price action. I don't really have super conviction on anything that's going to happen today. Like I said, if you are green on the day or if you're a small red on the day and you're looking for something to possibly happen here, it's going to be slow summer market trading, very difficult to kind of find yourself into a really good entry here. I don't have really strong conviction on anything right now. I do think that 452 could be a good area of interest, but all the way down into that previous all-time high does make sense as well. So, overall, you could see price continue to grind all the way through. The sellers could just kind of slowly grind all the way down. You could catch a pop and, you never know if it's going to rotate, rally straight through. My interesting areas, previous day lows, we've accepted below that. We've expanded the range from pretty much this entire week, right? So once you've broken through the low of the week, you now need to see, are we going to accept below this week's price and then rotate all the way down into these other levels, last week, the week before, or are we going to start to rotate back in, accept back into this week's set of levels and then continue to go on? So like I said, it's just a day where market needed to correct. It got that buy the rumor, sell the news kind of price action, cracked through this support level, through that level. I don't know what I just did. Sorry if I messed something up. No, we're good. All right. Like you could see it's acting as support all week. You finally crack it. You break through it. Now you're in this low volume, straight up price action, trying to cancel that out. That's why I think that 452 is a good downside target, and also that 71, which was support, which was that previous all-time high from last week and before 4th of July and all that stuff. So could likely cancel a lot of that out, find some sort of bid in here somewhere, and then rotate back out of it. But for me, like I said, ending the day up $100, copied twice, so $200 across the accounts. It's not a big day, but once you go across the days of the week, this is our performance for the week so far. Red 1, 2 greens. Eventually, you're going to start to get into better opportunities, be able to hold them a little bit longer, as long as you stick to your plan and have good thought processes behind everything that you're doing, you're going to be just fine. But absolutely, there, Miguel. Right now, overall, like I said, I would just go enjoy the rest of your day. There's a good chance it does bounce here or anywhere during this day. It could continue to sell off. You're going to get low volume. Maybe there'll be opportunities during power hour. Yesterday during power hour, I think it was, okay. You had some rallying going on towards the end of the day, but we kind of just closed on highs. The day prior, very flat, not a lot going on. So until tomorrow, I'm going to be done trading for today. Like I said, I locked myself out of this account. For those of you who don't know, I'm trading funded accounts with Top Step, and I'm using Top Step X with that platform. It allows you to lock yourself out, which I already did. You can see if I click off of this account and back onto it, it'll tell you manually locked out. What that does is it pretty much just prevents me from executing any trades across these accounts for the rest of the day until market reopens at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 Eastern. And it just, prevents that FOMO, prevents that I can go back and now let's say I want to see this market rally back up and I start to, I check my phone, I look on TradingView, I see, we're starting to rally a bit. We're getting back close to that previous day low. Instead of having that FOMO, I'm going to run back to the computer, click some buttons, or go on my phone and use the app and then lose the money that I made today because I didn't have a plan, right? It prevents you from losing that money. Or even if you get to a point where you've drawn down on the day and you don't want to lose any more money on the day, but you feel that revenge coming. You feel like you're going to get it. That's it. Oh, we got the boys coming for the last 5 minutes. Whoa, crazy guys here. Come on in.
Energy! Hi, traders!
All right, get up. Get up. This is why you lock out too, because otherwise you get these guys coming in here and they're going to just want to trade as well. So,
hi, traders!
Say, keep your money, lock yourself out, and don't trade until tomorrow. Unless you are having a plan. If you have a plan. Okay, don't yell into people's ears. You got to be nice when you're on the stream, right?
Nice.
Be nice. All right. Say hi, say bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Daddy's going to shut it down in 3 minutes, okay?
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Bye-bye. All right. Bye. And that's having the home office for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the yelling in your ears and the screaming, but hey, that's family trading right there. I'm going to try and set up where I can go step by step through a lot of what I do, help some people out. But we are looking to just kind of go day by day. If you have any questions intraday, I don't mind answering them. I'll answer every question that happens, while we're here, either on YouTube or on Tradecaster. If I don't notice your YouTube comment quick, it's because I'm using only one screen for the chats, and I'm switching back and forth between Tradecaster and YouTube. So I need to get a third screen. Once I get that third screen, I'll be able to kind of place the chat elsewhere and be able to manage both chats a little bit cleaner. Little by little, I'll improve the stream for you guys and make it a little easier for you to see. But realistically, I think for the most part, when it comes to trading screens and seeing what I see and understanding the markets a little bit, what I have as far as trading screens is concerned is useful. As I switch back and forth between the equities and the futures contracts, you kind of get a good idea for what's going on there as well. If you want to see me evaluate any names or anything before I go, let me know. Send me a DM or message me in Tradecaster or YouTube. I'll run through what I see in any name, in any asset class. I started this game trading Forex. I learned it pretty good, understanding the related correlations and all that stuff, macroeconomic environment. I think that's really helpful for Forex trading. I went into the equities and options. I didn't like the options world as much. So I went and traded professionally for T3, is a equities trading prop firm. I did okay. I started to learn pretty good on how to manage it, but you really need your own capital to kind of make that work. And just going through break even phases, you start to burn yourself and not be able to make the money that you need to make in order to start to step it up. So you need to learn quick and go, or already know what you're doing and have a decent capital buffer to kind of let yourself go through those growing pains and then make it. But for the most part right now, I'm leveraging futures, which I love, until these prop firms decide to no longer exist, or they decide to regulate them in some sort of way. We're going to just teach you how to leverage these accounts, how to manage them, how to understand how to pass these combines, get funding, and not have to risk your own money, much of it, in order to be able to make profits and start to slowly grow your accounts and build up buffers and take withdrawals from these accounts. So that's what my goal is with this stream. And then also, like I said, I can analyze any chart. Charts are charts across any asset class. It's just a matter of executions and understanding the relationship you have between one asset and another, right? My NASDAQ trading strategy works well between NASDAQ and S&Ps. I'm sure it works fine on the Russell and YM as well, but I'm not quite trading those two things. I really focus on NASDAQ and S&Ps. I do want to start including oil and gold into my trading strategy, which I will probably do on a combine first, understand a little bit how those behaviors work, see if the strategy needs to be tweaked at all per asset class. But as far as levels are concerned, as far as support and resistance, as far as supply and demand, VWAP, all those fun things, everything kind of translates all across the board, from equities, Forex, futures, whatever you're trading, be it cattle index, equity indexes, oil, gold, anything that you're trading, it can translate across the board. So you should never really run out of things to trade. It's just a matter of allocating capital and figuring out how to trade along those lines with those pieces that you have, right? So it is 11 o'clock here. My stream ends right about now, unless somebody has a thought out question or something that they need me to answer before I get off. I will cut out. I'll be here again tomorrow morning at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern. It is Friday. We do have PPI tomorrow. So if PPI comes in better than expected, like CPI did today, maybe you get a pop off on that. Maybe that ignites the buyers back into this market. If not, it could continue the sell side pressure for the rest of the week, and then see what happens into Monday of next week and roll out from there. But until then, I see no more questions. I think we're going to be good for the day. I will cut it here. If you do have questions, you could always go over to @PolicingPips on Instagram and on Twitter. You could tweet me or whatever. I answer most things on Instagram. Go over and follow @DayTradingCoffeeCo. I also post education, all of our coffee information, and some of my streaming schedule is on there as well. So either of those, you can follow me, DM me on those, and I'll always answer. You could always message in Tradecaster as well. I kind of check that periodically throughout the night just to see if anybody has anything to say or any questions to ask while I'm not on stream. But like I said, until tomorrow, I will be here. Don't be afraid. Click over to daytradingcoffeeco.com. Use code PolicingPips. Get yourself 15% off all your orders. Until tomorrow, I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.